How can a wealthy God have poor kids? In other words, how can a God whose streets in heaven are made of gold, as the Bible tells us, have a church that is struggling most of the time? Again, not all churches, but a majority struggling financially. At least the church I was pastoring at the time when I asked this question over 20 years ago at the time of this video. My name is Benson Agbortogo, and I want to welcome you to Profit Tree, where we are helping kingdom business leaders increase their profit and reduce the number of hours they are working. Today, I want to address a question that I asked the Holy Spirit over 20 years ago. How can a wealthy God have poor kids? About 20 years ago, at the time of this recording, I was still in the four walls of the church. And I was actually pastoring a church at that time in Benin City, Nigeria, in West Africa. And I was privileged to be leading some pastors as the pastoral council president. And each time I met with these pastors, they kept telling me they have projects in their church, but they didn't have money. I also looked into the church I was pastoring at that time, and I saw that we were really struggling financially. Personally, at that time, I was really struggling financially. And then I looked at the members of the church. They were also struggling financially. And I began to realize that not only our church, but other churches around kept raising money and kept raising money. And I realized that money was a challenge for a lot of Christians. So I asked the Holy Spirit a question. I said, how can a rich or wealthy God have poor children? I said, explain, I just want to understand. And in that year 2000, over 20 years ago, the Holy Spirit said to me, he said, Benson, if you want to solve this problem, you have to go back to school and study business. And I said, get ye behind me, Satan. Because at that time, I was thinking, what does a pastor have to do with business? My mindset at that time was that if you are in business, you are going to be corrupt. Well, in most African countries, to be in business, there is some bribery that is involved. Now, not everybody bribes, but most people bribe. And I didn't want to be in business, and I didn't want to be bribing, as a man of God. But I knew that the Holy Spirit was talking to me. And I said, Holy Spirit, if you want me to go back to school and study business, I want to go to the United States of America. At that time, I didn't even have a bank account. But I simply sent an email to a professor who was at the King's College in New York at that time. He had been a member of one of the churches I had pastored in Nigeria. And he sent me some documentations of two schools. One of them was Naya College in New York, and the other one was the King's College in New York. So he sent me these two schools because he told me these are the schools that can really educate you with a biblical worldview, to study business with a biblical worldview. And I look at the two schools, Naya College, King's College, Naya College, King's College. And I said, I am going to the King's College because moi, I am a king. So I applied to the King's College, through the miraculous intervention of God, I was admitted and I came to school and studied business management at the King's College in New York. At that time, the college was located at the Empire State Building. Right now, the campus is around Wall Street. An amazing school. And when I studied business management, I began to see the reason why many Christians are struggling financially. And I had to do a lot of repenting because I noticed that I was a gross mismanager of finances, which is why I was struggling financially. And I looked around the other churches and other people who were in the church at the time before I came to college, and I realized that these people were not good financial managers. They didn't manage what God had given them. And as a result, everything kept diminishing. You see, in the book of Matthew chapter 25, the Bible tells us that if we are faithful with little, God is always going to give us more. After graduating from the King's College, New York, I furthered my education and got a master's degree, master's in business administration. I focus on accounting. I love numbers. People ask me all the time, why do you love numbers so much? I said, well, because God is a lover of numbers. And one of his books is called the Book of Numbers. Duh, you see? God is a numbers guy as well. That is why I like numbers. After graduation, we started a consulting company with one of my professors from the college. And we started working with small to mid-sized businesses. And I noticed as we were consulting with these businesses that a lot of the problems they were experiencing were not just business related, they were spiritual. And I really began to yearn in my heart for a way to really help them both spiritually and with business knowledge. It's at that time in 2009 that the Lord spoke to me and said, Benson, it is time for you to take your spiritual background and your business training and put it together and really help kingdom business leaders. And that is when I stepped out by faith and started. It's been an amazing journey since 2009 through a lot of odd seasons and even seasons, but God has continued to be faithful. And at this moment, we are so passionate to help kingdom business leaders increase their profit and reduce the number of hours they are working out of the numerous revelations the Lord has given us as touching his laws and principles and the investment of time. I would say those are the two things we have really mastered in this company. The laws and principles of God that govern the growth of trees and that also govern the growth of businesses. And every business that we've worked with and installed a profit tree, the results have been phenomenal. You know, for example, I was just reviewing the results of one of our customers for 2019. At the time of this, the recording of this video is actually 2020. This video is actually being recorded on the 20th of January 2020. So I just finished reviewing the statements of one of our customers from 2019 to 2020. And they increased their income by 38.1%. They increased their profit by 181%. And the number of hours overall that the leadership team works has reduced by about 20%. As a matter of fact, one of the co-founders is getting ready to exit the business by the end of 2021, something that was unimaginable about 2 to 3 years ago. You see, our goal is to help you and your business to increase your profit and reduce the number of hours you work. Below this video, you are going to see the various ways that we can be of service to you. But the immediate action I want you to take is to click and schedule a free, more profit, fewer hour strategy session with us, where we'll give you a complimentary review, of your business. And by the time you leave that session, you are going to leave with some amazing bonuses that are going to help your business grow. So right now, click and schedule your complimentary review call with us, and I look forward to seeing you at that call or a member of our team. God bless you.